Hello, this is Journeyman and Magic Mike with the Sports Executioner Football Handicapping Show. It is Wednesday, June 10th, and we got a rocking show today, Mike. I started looking at this. We're 56 days away from the first NFL preseason game, and we're exactly 74 days away from the first live college football game.
And we're 91 days, 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 10 seconds from September 9th, the start of the preseason, or the regular season, rather.
Of NFL.
Yep.
Okay, so we are the Sports Executioner. Why are we online? Why are we sitting here doing this podcast? Why should you watch this show? Real simply, we know what we're doing. How much do we know? I want to kind of recap the last couple of years, our success rate at handicapping football, and it's impressive. If you go back just last year in our college picks, we picked 74% on college football, which would rank us number one in the United States. And when we hit the bowl season, which there were 44 bowl games, we picked at 76%. Now, if you're betting at those rates, you are making a tremendous amount of money. In our NFL picks, we picked at 64%. The year before, we kind of flipped around. Year before, the college picks were about 66%, and our NFL picks were 71%. So the way we package our opportunity, and we're going to call this an opportunity, when you go to the sportsexecutioner.com website, you can buy a subscription. We don't sell college football separate from the NFL, at least at this time of year. We sell it as a package. So you get both. So if you kind of average it out, say maybe we're going to be 71% in one or 75% in one and maybe 68% in the second, you're going to get the picks every week. And we're going to send you an email on Friday night, and it's going to have all the picks for the weekend, and starting with the Friday night game. So just keep that in mind. So listen, on today's show, we're going to cover the following. We're going to cover some college football storylines. We're going to cover some interesting things in the NFL. We're going to talk about some rankings. We're also going to, yes, everybody, it's bonus time. Magic Mike has been unbelievable in NBA. Really, what we need to do is pay attention to that. And there is a game tonight.
A big game.
Big game tonight, which Magic Mike will talk about. So Mike, I'm gonna start with the college, and we're gonna swing over to you. And we're gonna talk some NFL. So a couple things. I want to talk about a couple of storylines that have occurred in the last year. One of which is kind of interesting. So we're a handicapping betting site, right? So we're into betting. So there was a player that was betting college football. And he was playing. And his name is Brandon Sorsby. And he was playing first of all for Indiana. Then he went to Cincinnati. And now Texas Tech, which, by the way, Texas Tech, you think, geez, do they have any money? Whatever. How do they have money? They have oil money. They have a lot of oil money. Last year, they bought one of the best teams you could ever buy. And they almost made it all the way to the college football finals. So Brandon Sorsby was recruited by them. They're paying him $5 million. Does that sound like a rookie contract in the NFL, Mike, to you? $5 million.
Brock would want some.
Yeah. $5 million. And they found that he was betting. NCAA said, hey, you're not going to play college football this year. What did Texas Tech do with their money? They went to court, got an injunction, and he's going to play. I guess that's okay for him. I'm not sure I really like it, but he was betting on his own team, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, interesting, real quick, Jerk.
Yeah.
On that story, when the attorneys went to court, the reason he's playing, it's almost because they're delaying it. And so they said, we have an argument. That's it. And so by the time it gets to court, the season will be over. They're going to drop it.
Oh, boy, that's brilliant. Yeah, I love the way attorneys work, don't we? We know a little bit about the law. The second storyline I want to bring up is, well, there's two of them. One is, we have 12 college football playoff games now. The talk is, we're going to go to 16. Or are we going to 24? All off season, 16, 24, 16, 24. Nothing's happening this year. We're at 12. But I guarantee you at the end of this year, we're going to 24 playoff teams. which is sounding like a real tournament now. And you got 24 teams in the college football playoffs. You've got a real tournament going on, and that's going to happen. And the third little discussion that's happened, and I'm not going to get deep into this, but this SEC, the Southeastern Conference, and the Big Ten have been talking about succession. They've been talking about setting up their own league away from everybody else. They're loaded with cash. They have lots of opportunity, and they're talking about breaking off away from all the other college teams and setting up their own league. Now, I definitely don't hope that doesn't happen. We got 136 college football teams. I like them all in one league. I like them all having a chance to play each other. I don't want to see a super league made of two conferences. So I hope that argument goes away, but those things did happen. I'm going to mention one other thing, because in college football, just like we had the draft here in April, the draft is a way for NFLs to position for themselves in the future. And we're sick. Michael and I are sick, handicappers, so we follow the draft. And what happened here, I wanted to tell you, is a kind of a little new story going on in recruiting. So in college football, you go out and recruit these high school kids, and they rank them like 1 to 300, top 300. And it's ESPN and other sports entities rank these players. And I want to tell you what's going on in college football recruiting is a little bit surprising. So the number one recruiting team this year was not Ohio State, was not Oregon, was not Michigan. It was Texas A&M. The number two team was Oklahoma. Oklahoma had a losing record last year, and they're number two. Miami, number three. Florida Gators, number four. Notre Dame, number five. That's not a surprise. They're always up there. Clemson, number six. I'm going to go through all top 15. UCLA, Bruins, horrible team. Can't seem to get out of their way. They ranked number 7 in recruiting.
Wow.
They actually have 6 players in the top 300, and they are really looking good. Ohio State's number 8. USC is number 9 in recruiting. Michigan, number 10. No surprise to see them in the top 10. Texas Tech Red Raiders. Again, remember, I just talked to you about. They're buying the best players that money can buy. Oregon Ducks, number 12. Texas Longhorns, number 13. The Auburn Tigers, number 14. And a perennial winner who's usually way, way up there in recruiting, Georgia Bulldogs, number 15. They only have 3 of the top 300 commits. Now, what does this mean? Maybe in a couple years, these teams rise up and they start challenging some of the big guys. Anyway, that's a good intro in today's show. I'm going to swing it over to Magic Mike. He's got some words of wisdom, as he always does. Mr. Articulate, Magic Mike.
All right, peeps, we're here. We talked about the Hall of Fame game coming up on August 6th, Arizona at Carolina. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm jonesing. I'm excited. And that's why we do this. We love this. NFL, September 9th, 91 days away, about 3 hours. So that's going to be fun as well. All right. You can check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. I'm on X at MagicMikeSE. We did the radio show last year on ESPN and Fox, and it was a pretty good show. I thought we did really well. This year we're doing the podcast for you guys. So who are we? We're the number one NFL and college handicapping team, arguably in the world, guys. And we're here because we make money. We make a lot of money. Now, I'm giving out free picks in the NBA for a couple of reasons. One, exposure to the show and to us. But also, I want you to subscribe. So at a certain point, you're going to say, well, shoot, they're making all this money. They're 71%, they're 75%, 76% in the bowl games, et cetera. At a certain point, you say, well, I want some. I won some. So anyways, but yeah, very good. Football's our bread and butter. NBA this year, we're 111 and 48, so we're batting about 70%, so that's awesome. In terms of what we look at, folks, so we look at a number of things. So the basic things we look at are rest advantage, travel, turf, hotels, weather, the bias of the refs. We look at social life, et cetera, et cetera. We also have tools. We have a lot of data analytics. We look at VSiN. We like that. It's a good site, Vegas Sports Information Network, so It's a very good site. We look at betting splits on the sharps, the guys like us who make the big money, and then versus the public, the guys who don't, the guys who just consistently don't. They bet teams because it's their favorite team. Jurgen and I always say, when someone asks us, what's our favorite team? We say, whoever wins against the spread. That's it, guys, right? So that's why we're here. So to that, I want to talk about just a couple things real quick. Against the spread records, I think this is interesting. So I just took a look at the records last year. Who's batting 60% against the spread, right?
Yep.
So there were a number of teams. Seattle, 75%. They were 15-5 against the spread, 14-3 on the year in the regular season.
And you know what's interesting about that?
Tell me.
They won the Super Bowl.
Go figure.
Yeah,
go figure.
Usually a team that runs through the league like that is not the team that you make money betting.
Yeah, no, it was
last year.
Awesome.
Seattle was an underrated team throughout the year, and yet they would cover bets, make money. They made a lot of money for us, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, fantastic.
And they're going to be and we both probably agree. Seattle's going to be back this year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they're going to be back in the hunt.
And the Rams are going to be right there as well. Rams are batting 60, so 12-8 against the spread, and 12-5 on the year. So that is interesting. Jacksonville, surprisingly, they went 13-4, 12-6 against the spread. Patriots, they started out really slow against the spread. They weren't a favorite of mine, but they were 14-3 on the year in the regular season, 13-7 against the spread. One of the stories I liked was Carolina Panthers. So they were not a very good team, under 500, so 8-9. But they're batting 11-7 against the spread. So when you look at some of these teams, I look at the Giants 4-13, but they're 9-8 against the spread. That's pretty interesting. I look at a team like Denver and Buffalo, good records. Denver's 14-3, Buffalo's 12-5. But 9-9 against the spread and 9-10 against the spread. So just interesting when you start looking at even a team like Las Vegas, right? They're going to be better, folks. They're definitely going to be better this year. But you look at a team like Las Vegas, 3-14 against the spread, straight up, but 7-10 against the spread. So there's some value in those teams that don't really play well, but they do tend to cover.
Yeah, and listen, we're agnostic. I mean, yeah, there's teams that we like. We're fans like anybody else, but the point is, we're using analytics. We bet against teams that we maybe like because we think we can make money with them. That's what this is about. This show and our website and the opportunity, if you like to bet sports, go to sportsexecutioner.com, make a play, get our picks. We're going to send them to them every week, okay?
And believe me, she'll love it too.
Yes, of course. And by the way, we're not just talking to men out here. There's a lot of women that are betting sports these days, and we want some lady fans to follow us along, and they can make some extra cash as well. This is not hard stuff. We don't make it difficult. We tell you what to play. We give you a reason why we play each game. We don't just say, hey, pick this team. I hate it when these handicappers just say, okay, take the Rams this week. Okay, well, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why take the Rams this week? We give you an explanation, and it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and do some more college football. Hello, this is Jerky Man and Magic Mike with the College Football Show and NFL Show, which we call the Sports Executioner Football Handicapping Show. It is Wednesday, June 10th. You say, why are we doing this so early in the summer? We love football. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some NBA, which we are in a second. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the college football rankings as we're going into the season. Now, the rankings matter sometimes, but sometimes they don't. But let's just take a look at where everything's ranked. So Ohio State last year was 12-2. They are ranked number 1 going into the season. Number 2 is the Texas Longhorns. They were 10-3 last year. Number 3, hope rides eternal in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon Ducks are 13-2. They're ranked number 3 in the country. Notre Dame was 10-2 last year. They're ranked 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia was 12-2 last year. They're ranked 5th. Indiana Hoosiers, 16-0 last year. Couldn't lose a game to save their tail. And they are ranked number 6 this year. So people are not going to discount them all the way down. Texas Tech Red Raiders, the best team that money can buy. They were 12-2 last year. They're ranked number 7. Miami Hurricanes, 13-3 last year. They ranked number 8. Texas A&M, 11-2 last year. Almost off the page. They are ranked 9th in the country. Here's a shocker. USC Trojans, 9-4. And they are ranked 10th in the country going into this season. Ole Miss Rebels were 13-2, and they're ranked number 11. Alabama's always going to be there. They were 11-4 last year. The shock of the rankings is there was a team last year that lost 6 games, the LSU Tigers, but they have a new coach, Lane Kiffin. He stole every player he could from around the country, and they are ranked number 13 going into the season. BYU is ranked number 14 at 12-2, and Michigan is 9-4. So, talking about college football, let's just mention, because we're going to cut this, going to come on us very quick. I know it's June 10th, but on August 29th, on Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning, we're going to kick off the college football season with a doozy. North Carolina playing Texas Christian University, and guess where they're playing at, Michael? In Dublin, Ireland. So we got these 2 college teams flying all the way over to Dublin, getting all those Irish drinkers riled up for a college football game, North Carolina and TCU. The other game on that Saturday, which they call this week 0. They don't call it week 1, which is kind of interesting. NC State is playing Virginia, and that's a pretty good game. And then later on that Saturday, you have a game at Allegiant Stadium here in our home state of Nevada. It's Memphis Tigers playing UNLV. So even on that first week, we have some really interesting college football games.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And then the season really starts on September 3rd. Now, what's great about having a college football season starting August 29th and September 3rd. And then we even have a game, if you're ready for this, we even have games on all day Saturday on the 5th, and then on to Monday Night Football, because the NFL season doesn't start till the 9th. So once you start August 29th, folks, you're going to be into the season. They're going to be into the college football. You can make some real money because we are the sports executioner and we know what we're doing. With that, we're going to wrap up with a couple little things on the NFL and some NBA stuff from Magic Mike, the Oracle of Northern Nevada, Magic Mike.
All right, peeps. Just going to talk about a few things. Now, NFL. Jergy mentioned some of the schedules there. NFL. We have games every day of the week except Tuesday this year. Not every week, but we've got Wednesday games this year. Thursday we'll have some Friday games. We'll have Saturday, Sunday games. Obviously Monday Night Football. So it's an exciting time, but apparently we just don't like Tuesday. Okay.
Well, we have some college football games on Tuesday.
That's true.
We can fill that up.
So I want to talk about strength of schedule real quick, and then we'll talk about betting splits, and then I'm going to give you the free picks. All right. So I'm giving out 4 free picks in the NBA on this show just at the end here. So who's got the easiest schedule of everybody in the football world? I'll just do the top 5 and the bottom 5. So Detroit's got the weakest schedule. So they're Vegas has them at 10.5 wins projected. Saints the second easiest, and Vegas has 7.5. Cincinnati 9.5. Cleveland Browns 6.5, and Jets 5.5. Niners have the 8th weakest schedule, and yet they're going to be flying 38,000 miles this year. That's more than the bottom 10 teams in the league. So a lot of travel for them.
Is that a record, 38,000 miles
so.
for one NFL team in
the
season?
The Australia game, and then they've got a Mexico game, and so on. So it's a lot of travel.
Crazy.
So
wow.
Your Chargers are 21. Weakest schedule, I guess. So they're projecting 10.5 wins there. At the bottom, we've got Arizona. It's got the hardest schedule, so it's going to be another rough year, unfortunately. And then we've got Miami, Carolina, Cowboys, and then the Rams, who are kind of a favorite right now to win the Super Bowl. They've got the 28th hardest schedule in the league, so that's pretty interesting, right, Jared? So just want to talk about that strength of schedule. You got anything on that?
No, I just I think it's interesting. I mean, it matters in the NFL. I mean, it's a long season. It's basically 18 weeks. There's one free week in there for everybody to have a week off. But college, they play 12 games, and then unless you're fortunate and you get in the playoffs. See, Indiana went all the way last year, and they played 16 games. Mm-hmm. That's the most that any college team has ever played in the history of college football, 16. So it's a long season, and those strength of schedules matter. Teams wear down if they have to keep battling each week. So I do find it interesting. I do think the Rams are the team to beat, and even though they got a really tough schedule, I think they made all the right moves, and they came within a whisker last year playing in the Super Bowl.
4 points. But hey, We're not betting straight up, folks. We're betting against the spread. So just keep that in mind. Real quick, we just want to talk about some interesting week one betting splits. So betting splits are it's a tool we look at. So as a Sharp or the Handle, professional bettors and the handicappers, and then we look at the public. And so a lot of times we'll see easy ones like a contrarian move where the handle has, for example, 80% of the bets, and then you look at, say, the public, and they're only betting 20. Well, that's a lean, right? So, anyways, but a couple of things I've never seen. Week one of the NFL, we've got Baltimore Ravens. They've got 100% of the sharp money right now. You've got Bengals, 94% of the sharp money. It's Tampa Bay at Bengals. You've got Baltimore at the Colts, and sharps are betting 100%. I've never seen that. A number of these. We've got Miami at Las Vegas. The sharps are betting 100% right now. Now, it's early, but still it's a tell. Washington at Philadelphia, sharps are 100% right now. 98% Green Bay at Vikings, just incredible. Dallas Cowboys at the Giants, 100%. So 100% of the professional bets are on those teams that I just mentioned.
Interesting.
So very interesting.
And those are, you can tell, I mean, the lines are already out there for those games. And there's leans on the betting, but there are people that are betting the NFL right now. And that's why we're on our show right now in the middle of June. Or actually, it's pre-middle of June, and trying to get you folks warmed up for what's going to be a hell of a season.
All right. Well, it's that time, guys. Almost done with the show. It's been a great little show so far. We've got game 4 of the finals tonight. So we got the Spurs at the Knicks. Now, I was one of the only handicappers who took the Spurs money line 2 days ago, and everyone said I was crazy. Everyone took, just like the OKC game, the last one, when Harrison Barnes turned 34, and nobody's ever played on their birthday and won a game 7. So that was a tell.
Well, listen, I got to give Magic Mike credit because the whole world is sitting there in New York City. The president is there. The worst seat in the house was $10,000. Spike Lee and all his gang of actors and directors and stuff are on the sidelines. The whole world figures the New York Knicks are going to win that game. And what does Magic Mike say? No. He says, take the Spurs.
So here's the picks, guys. I'm going the other way tonight, right? And I thought about going moneyline Knicks. I am actually going to lay the points. I'm going to take Knicks minus 2.5. At home, I think the refs are going to have to respond to Mike Brown's calling them out on the 24-8 in terms of calls in the second half on Monday. So I think that's going to be something to look at. I think the Knicks cover tonight. I think the game's going to be close. I think it's going to be probably 107-102. Knicks, prop bets. I've got a few. I think it's going to be New York's night. Jalen Brunson over 5.5 assists tonight. He's been over 5.5 the last 2 games. I'll have him at over 2.5 3-point shots tonight. He's actually shooting 34.5% on the year. And then OG, original gangster, Anunoby. That's a hard one. Over 16.5 points. He's been over 17 in every game of the finals so far, and he scored 28 on Monday. So those are the props, and that's the pick.
That sounds good. So Mike brings up a really interesting point in that game on Monday night, was you had a real big disparaging difference between the fouls, and it was 24 fouls called on the Knicks and only 8 on San Antonio, and that's huge difference. And a lot of people think that they were, unjustified too. Many of them.
And listen, real quick, folks, it could really be a 2-1 series for the Spurs. Just look at, Knicks come into San Antonio, right? And the Road Dogs have actually won all these games, right? So they come into Spurs and they beat them 105-95. The next game, it's 105-104 Knicks, right?
Yeah.
And then it was 115-111 on Monday. So these are tight games, guys, and they're very, very even, but I just think when you look at what we're seeing, this is fun. I think it's great for New York. I think it's great for the fans. I think it's great. It's definitely great for the NBA. But don't get carried away with the refs, because you still got to win the game no matter what. So, anyways, it's been a lot of fun, and it's a great show.
Yeah, and Magic Mike's been awesome, and that's a free pick. And listen, after the end of this show, please go to thesportsexecutioner.com. We're making some changes in the website, some improvements. Things are moving, but we are ready to take your opportunities. We're going to be raising our subscriptions. I'll tell you, with our record, we should be charging $10,000 a year for our subscriptions. I'm serious. Serious players should pay attention. This is the deal of a lifetime, and you're going to make a lot of money this year with the Sports Executioner. I'm Jergy Man. This is Magic Mike. We'll see you next week. This time, same place, same channel.
Peace out.